Good evening. A little later than usual, but I got to continue to bring you guys this news, keep you up to date with the offseason news regarding Carolina Panthers and the NFL as a whole. Told you the other day we're back full swing, giving you lots of frequent coverage. So here we are. Make sure you do me a big favor. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, do all that stuff to help support us. Independent media, 100% supported by you all. So anytime that you can do a super chat, become a member, really appreciate it. And we're closer to me being in Indianapolis for the Combine. Lots of good stuff that's lining up for that. I can't say it all, but number one, interviews are being lined up that I'm excited about. Opportunities to continue to get some good sources for information, from players, coaches, etc. That's always a good time up there in Indianapolis. And then going live, sharing stuff with you guys. So again, next Monday, I will be in Indianapolis. Now, I will share this with you guys. So last year, I flew more than any other season, right? Went to every single game. And you may know, mom's always moms, right? Like, hey, let me know when you land. But anyway, so sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. Just because people fly all the time. But I can tell you, for the first time in my life, I'm not overly excited about flying to Indianapolis next week. And all season long, flew nonstop because there's less stress, less worry, just starting Charlotte, land where you need to be. But actually, when I go to Indianapolis, I got a layover going and coming because, independent media, so sometimes in the off season, we got to save money when we can. And I'm not excited about it. So I will be telling you guys when I'm leaving and when I'm coming back. That'll mostly be happening on Twitter. And I think I leave Monday around maybe 2-ish. And then I get to Indianapolis around 6-ish. So I think I'm going to be all right, but I can tell you this. If there's any like weird things that happen, I'm just wondering how I'm going to react. Because did you, and I know I'm off topic, but it's off season, so we get to know each other a little bit, right? Did you not see the plane in Canada that flipped over? And I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, well, how did the plane flip over? This was a Delta plane. And I am going to be flying, I'm pretty sure one leg of the trip on a smaller plane. But I'm like, how did it flip over? And so we all know that when planes land, a lot of times people go, ooh, it shakes them up, right? That plane landed, and then that's when the landing gear snapped, causing it to turn and break a wing and flip over. So anyway, I'm a little bit wait and see on this trip. Hopefully things settle down. But today there was another plane incident. I forget where. It was two small airplanes collided in midair. Like, whoa. What's going on? Nevertheless, we got some topics that we're going to go through tonight, and we're going to continue to ramp up draft talk as well as we get closer to the Combine and throughout the Combine. Let me give some shout outs to everybody. To Kib saying, yo, what's going on? And we got Alonzo Sampson, my good member and friend, Queen's Yarn Boutique, Ali Bodrick, and who else we got in here? Yeah, Alonzo says, too many plane crashes late. Man, how many have there? There's been planes with helicopters. There's been small planes. There's been commercial planes. It's all kinds of stuff, man. So, God is in charge. Always praying for travel immersion. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So, and again, I think a lot of us, we've flown so much, you never really get scared to think about it. But, we'll keep you guys posted for sure, and we'll let you know upon arrival. So let's go ahead and go over a few things. One is my man, Andy Dalton. All right, so congratulations to Andy Dalton. Yesterday, he signed a new 2-year deal with the Carolina Panthers. And, hat tip to Andy, because he got some guaranteed money. Who doesn't want some guaranteed money? He's getting guaranteed money as a backup, which I think really helps the team solidify Andy as some guy that's going to be here for a couple of years with, supporting Bryce Young and his development. So currently, our quarterback room is secured as such. Bryce Young, your number 1 quarterback. Andy Dalton, a.k.a. the Red Rifle, your number 2 quarterback. And Jack Plummer getting some time to continue to develop as he got promoted to that 53-man roster right toward the end of the season. They did that as a little, attaboy. Congratulations to Jack for having such a good time with the team. So, but again, Andy Dalton is the news here. New 2-year contract, $6 million guaranteed, maximum of $10 million. I'm assuming like if he plays in so many games, those details of the contract haven't been put out there that he'll get more. But it's a 2-year, $8 million contract, $6 million guaranteed, and can be up to $10 million. So what do I think of the move? I like it. I like it, right? Bryce is still young. Last year was his 2nd year, and he made some significant improvements. But you also got to look at 2 things, right? One is injuries. Could it happen? Well, it's likely to happen. It's the NFL, it's a contact sport. So you have a guy that, hey, let's look at the big picture, right? They're wanting to build off of this success from this season. If you haven't watched the Blueprint, good little show talking about the offensive linemen, but in that Blueprint, they talked about once Germany hit, they felt like things really continued to change for this team and develop and grow. And they finished strong, even though they were out of the playoff race well before the end of the season, right? But these guys still played hard. Bryce Young finishing the season with back-to-back 100-plus passer rating games, right? But I'm mentioning that to say this team's continuing to build, and you don't want to be in a position where you are building, you are a good team, and then you got to go to Jack Plummer, who may or may not be ready. I'm not saying that he's not a good backup, but Andy Dalton is, and I feel like that's a good move because now you solidified if something does happen to Bryce, we got a guy that can come in, be effective, familiar with the system, and most importantly, is a good quarterback in that locker room and has a really, really good relationship with Bryce, can continue to help be a part of that growth. So there you have it. Good job, Dan Morgan and company. I forget the guy's name who's the numbers guy that helps do all the contracts, but well done, Andy Dalton, now 2 years with the Carolina Panthers. All right, we'll continue to move on, but here we go. My guy Antonio LeCanahan with the usual great tweet comment of like, subscribe, tell a friend, help us continue to grow. We got to get we got to get to 20,000 subscribers this year. 20,000 is what I'm shooting for. So we need participation like that. And we also need, for those that are members, those that are already engaged, always make sure you like and leave a comment. Do that for me as well, all right? All right, so that's one thing on the signing part. Now, I thought about this the other day, and who is most likely to go to be released that is under contract? For those that are watching live now, I want to give you a chance to tune in and give your comments. So I know there's a little bit of a delay. Look at this. I need to figure out a way to get some stuff away like this, right? A little hard to give it away because it's so small. How do you mail it, all that stuff. But yeah, who do you think is most likely to be released? I feel like that guy for the Carolina Panthers would be Miles Sanders. I feel like he knows that that's a strong possibility. He was pretty emotional, and not to say that he shouldn't be, but he was pretty emotional after that last game in Atlanta when he had the opportunity to score that game-winning touchdown in overtime, talking about the adversity, talking about having the opportunity, talking about knowing that he could do it and doing it. And I really feel like that game when he was activated, the last game in Atlanta, was for the sake of like Miles really pushing to do it as his auditioning tape to continue to play somewhere, right? Now, we do have Jonathan Brooks that was, to be significant and backing up Chuba, and he's out for the entire season with that. Well, it's not official how much, but it's quite likely that he's going to miss the entire season next year. And then that leaves you, with Raheem Blackshear, Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard. And I feel like Miles Sanders is pretty expensive to come back in the role and capacity that he's been with the Carolina Panthers. It could be one of those things that, hey, it just wasn't a fit. It could be that he's not the running back that he once was. But, the last 2 seasons with the Carolina Panthers have been pretty bad for Miles Sanders. Last 2 seasons, he's had just over 600 yards gained. Before he came to the Carolina Panthers in that previous year, he had nearly 1,300. So you go from nearly 1,300 in 1 year to just 600 in 2 years. Now, he had injuries. How many games did he play? He hadn't missed significant. 16 that first year, 11 last season, this season that just passed, but he only had 600 yards. His rushing yard average, the worst of his career, 3.3 last year, 3.7 this year. So the only thing that he really did good in, really solidly for the Carolina Panthers, was catching balls out the backfield. And but that's not enough. That's like a compliment to a back. But that's not enough. And this year of his 4-year contract is the year that his cap hit is the biggest, $8 million. So in a day and age where running backs are getting paid less, he got the biggest contract 2 years ago. I think it's smart to go ahead and, free up some cap space, not take that $8 million hit. I'm not exactly sure what the exact amount would be with the release, but certainly get you some relief there. Let Miles go to some place where he can contribute more and save us some money. And who's to say that you can't get another running back in the draft this year? No, you don't need to reach and get one in the first round, but if with good scouting, then yeah, get you another guy that could be the backup, and you paying him on a rookie contract. It's obvious that Chuba is your guy. It's obvious that Chuba is stellar and just getting better, but he needs some breaks. So Miles Sanders is my vote, is the guy that I think will be most likely to be released of our free agents. Some other candidates certainly that could be in there, but Miles Sanders gets my nod as the most likely guy to be released. Late putting up my graphic title there, but there you have it. Now, continuing on with what we've been talking about with Miles Sanders and saving some money by releasing him, guess what? We did have some new information come out today about the cap. Now, they don't know the exact number yet. So therefore, it's a range, which you see here on the screen. And that range is still significantly higher than what it was last year. It's actually, the cap has gone up. This tells you how much money the NFL is making. It's gone up $53 million in 2 years. That's a whole lot of money. But, hey, get it while you can. But anyway, the cap is expected to be anywhere from between $277 million to $281 million. So again, last year was 255, and we're now going up to 277, and even maybe as high as 281. What that means for the Carolina Panthers is that means that they should have about $25 million in cap space for the season coming up. $25 million is where that puts them approximately in cap space for this year to go out and get some talent. And there's some guys that are coming available for that talent. Not going to dive deep into that tonight yet, but hey, I hopefully I'll get a chance to talk with Dan Morgan and Dave Canales. That's no secret, right? So I'll talk about that. Last year at the Combine, I was lucky enough to be able to get to talk to Dan and Dave one-on-one, ask them some questions. So fingers crossed, toes crossed that I'll have that opportunity yet again to talk with Dave and Dan one-on-one in Indianapolis. And what I want you guys to do, I was able to do it live last year, so that's going to be my goal again this year, is to go live with those guys. Now, I won't be able to take questions and all that stuff because it's a hectic situation. If you're familiar with watching Radio Row that just happened for the Super Bowl, it's like that for the Combine, but when you have a guy that's the size of coach or GM, you don't get much time with them. So another reason to set your notifications so that you can see it. Don't subscribe as well so that you know when the video's up and come back and watch it later. So good news, cap again extended from 277 to 281, a $53 million increase in the past 2 years, and it equals $25 million in money, additional money for the Carolina Panthers to spend this year. Now, could that mean like a guy, I don't know, a guy like T. Higgins be available? I don't know. You know, some of it is still who believes in the Carolina Panthers. And I think that you're going to have more people believing in the Carolina Panthers now that Bryce Young had the year that he had. I don't think that you're going to have guys just being like, Carolina, I don't know. So that could start to change, and that could start to make things possible where the Carolina Panthers could land like a top-tier free agent. We'll have to wait and see. All right. Let's continue to move along. The NFL continues to expand. They've been in Germany. They're going to Australia, which I am so happy that the Carolina Panthers will not be a part of that. And they've also been playing in Brazil. Well, today, let's see if I got my graphic ready. I don't quite have my graphic ready, but let's try this. There it is today. It was just announced that the NFL will be returning to Brazil to play a regular season game. They did it last year. It was a success. It was good enough to where they will be returning, and your host home team in Sao Paulo will be the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Los Angeles Chargers will play their game in Brazil first week 1, Friday night in Brazil. Opponent to be determined, but it will not be the Carolina Panthers. So that's your updates for tonight. We'll continue to work at this tomorrow, giving you guys more news and latest updates. So again, to break it down, Andy Dalton, 2-year contract. $8 million, $6 million guaranteed, up to $10 million. Cap space has been increased from 277. From about 255. excuse me, to approximately 277 to 281, which basically gives the Carolina Panthers about $25 million in cap space for this year. My guy, who I believe will be most likely to be released from this team that is currently under contract, will be Miles Sanders, and the NFL will be returning to play in Brazil. Week 1, Friday night, Los Angeles Chargers will be your home team. So that's recapping the updates. We'll again see you guys tomorrow, same time, maybe not, but just subscribe. Notifications will let you know the time. Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte Vibe.